She's known for her vibe, energy, personality, and for her stories.
Actor in position, but I'm actually at Cassie right now. She does my nails. Cassie nailed it. But this video has been long overdue, and I really want to speak from like my perspective as like the interviewee, and just like some cringe moments on this show that I had, and just I want to address just how we flowed in the interview with Alrick. It was, bro, like the energy was right. And I've done some interviews before where I either had to kind of position them to how I want to answer, or not in the mood and just kind of laid back and be like, whatever happens happens. This, I felt like our energies were really aligned, and I also felt like it just flowed really nicely. So for this video, I'm going to be going over bits and pieces of this interview, but not everything, because obviously I want y'all to go watch it. It has like a whole heap of views, and I really have to thank you guys. But I have not read the comments because, you know, people are weird. So I'll just be going, I actually have my laptop right now. I'm actually going to be going over the interview and just kind of touching on some points.
What are some of the IDs that you were looking for? Post event.
It's very difficult for me to say, to be honest with you, and that's just the truth.
Yeah.
I almost have no expectations whatsoever, because irrespective of who you are, what you present to the table, you're going to change inevitably, because that's what I've been experiencing over the years, even prior to my marriage.
For most of us, we also have this mindset that based on what we've been experiencing, we will continue to experience, even if we change a stimuli, or even if we change something, like, you know, it's always going to go back to that. And that's not necessarily true. So I guess this is kind of me kind of like going over what I said, and just to provide a little bit more insight on it. Yeah, that has been my experience, and I think people get it confused that whenever I talk about like an ex, they automatically go to the popular one. But I've since then been in relationships after the fact. So when I say ex, it's not necessarily the long-term one, but for this one specifically, when I answered this question, I was just thinking about everything that I was going through even before I was in that long-term relationship, and then everything after that long-term relationship, and just getting to the meat of the matter of honestly of like what men want, because I know what I want, or I thought I did. But people do change. People change. I mean, look at me. I'm changing right in front of you. So for me to continue saying people don't change, it must be from an emotional standpoint and not from a physical standpoint, or probably from a mental, because people can have ideologies, people can have their own thoughts, people can be raised a particular way. Like we said, old people, you know, if a person at a certain age, we say, well, you know, so them stay, you know, them all know them not gonna change. That's what we say, isn't it? So your experiences shape you, and that's what I want to get out there. Your experiences shape you negatively and positively, but it's you now who's experiencing that to kind of say, all right, then let's see how I can twist it. And sometimes we can, sometimes we do not want to. Let me say that again. Sometimes we can, sometimes we don't want to, because everything is a choice, and I'm learning that. Everything is a choice. You make your decision. Everything is a choice. You make your decision. You can make a phone a set for, hit the snooze button, then end up late for go where you go. You can go to bed late. Don't prep for the following day. You jump up and you have to get everything ready. Everything is a choice. Every single thing. So I don't know if I want to use the word debunk, but people do change. People do change, and I'm experiencing that just like with myself, with how I think and how I interact with people. Like, people change mentally too, because I've changed mentally, I've changed spiritually, and I am changing emotionally. I hope that makes sense.
You might probably want to be in a relationship again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in love with that guy right now, but we're just not together. Don't do that, Alrick.
Bro, I've made so many bad decisions where the opposite sex is concerned. It is ridiculous. And one would think that you would learn, that you've been through it, but let me tell you what I think it is. Well, let me just speak from my experience. because I get into the mindset that I don't want to be lonely, which can be a mindset for some people, but for everybody, it's just a general rule of thumb. We don't like to be alone. We like our own space, but being alone, not having somebody there or children there or a friend there, that the true meaning of alone, being alone, I don't think it's what we were meant to do as human beings. We're too much alike, meaning not alike in specific instances, but I like just natural, like, oh, she have an eye, me have eye too, she have a nose, me have nose too, she have this, me, like we're so alike. So for us to be so alike, we weren't designed or created or thought of to be different, to be alone. You get what I'm saying? So just from that standpoint, and it's just, as I think I said this before in another interview, it's just being with somebody for so long and then just go back to just to being single. That took a lot of adjusting, and even though the situation was so shitty, it still took a lot of adjusting, because I'm going to be a bitch right now, but the days that I was really happy was when he wasn't there, or when me I go gym or a hill or something. Isn't me? But that constant person being in your space, you get used to it, and that's saying a lot about abuse and trauma. That speaks a lot on abuse and trauma, and that speaks a lot to why some women are trapped or can't come out, or they can't find the strength. That it can be a reason, it can be a factor, but it's not a blanket response to women who are going through their traumatic situation. But girl,
Are you in a desperate place for your divorce to come through? Like you need it to come through?
Because there's so
at this point, like I really am ready for my divorce. I really am ready to change my name, all that good, change my name, sorry, all that good stuff. But after this, when it was nearing like the 1 year anniversary, I recognized that it was a major trigger for me. I didn't realize until after. There's a vlog on my channel now where I'm in this like green dress and it says Ace, and I'm just like just crying and just saying, guys, I don't know what's going on. But it was the 20th something of August, and our anniversary would have been the 1st of September. And on the 3rd is when I recognized why I was touching it, why I was just in this like dark place. And it's because of that, because I didn't remember that it was our anniversary. But I guess you can say muscle memory, or whatever that term is called, is that my body remembered, or my environment, or my mind, is that my mind remembered. I don't know how that works, but I didn't, because it was not at the front of my head. But so after that, no, so at this point, yeah, like hell yeah, I was. But after that, I just kept on thinking like, crap, so this solidifies everything. This is the be all and end all of every single thing. I'll be done with this human being out my life. So it's just like the one thing that's attaching me. From a legal standpoint, emotionally, physically, spiritually, we have disconnected. But it would have just solidified it for the people who keep on saying, oh, but you're not yet divorced. I'm like, nigga, whatever, I ain't talking to you anyway. What's good? But yeah, it was difficult, and sometimes I would even like just sit back and think like, shit, like dog, like this happened. And him did tell me from the jump, say like I'll be the one that will be dealing with everything, because he does, that's not what he wants or some shit. But yes, at this point it's what I wanted. But then in the months to come, because this was recorded probably 2-3 months ago, because I don't have my Medusa piercing, I don't have my hand tattoos. So yeah, this was probably 4 months ago. But yeah, like right now, me talking to you, today is what, the 15th of October, me talking to you, yeah, like I'm back at this place, but a little bit more subdued. I'm back at this place without the theatrics. I'm back at this place of wanting it without being too emotional. Like, hell yeah, that's definitely what I want.
even if I'm like dating somebody, I will never ask you for anything, because and it's probably a twisted way of thinking, but prior to you, I never needed you, and I never needed to ask you.
So with this thought process, I no longer feel this way. And I no longer feel this way because I'm so protective of the things that are mine, my business, my ideas. So if you come into my life and you want to help me, but you're really taking from it, if you want to help me, but you're pushing your agenda, the minute I get wind of it, it's done, because I already don't want to share this with you. So that's where this is coming from. I've never felt comfortable like asking for help ever, unless it's mommy or mama. I've never felt, so if I have to ask for help, so much goes through my mind in just asking. So much. But my name Lyric, the maga want chat me, so all come Lyric ask for help. She should left the man, he should have money. So there's so much that goes through my mind, and all are negative. Don't get me wrong, everything on them negative. But I no longer hold true to this at all. As in, if you want help, you ask. And if you trust somebody enough to ask, then you do that. I've been bitten so many times by people who I thought I could trust. And that for me should be a red flag. Yeah, it's a red flag, but it's not a stop sign. I will stop sign my run sometimes. A red flag, but I want stop sign and I want stop light. It's not a barrier. It's a red flag, but it's not a barrier. It's not a hindrance. If that, I hope I'm making sense. Is it? So yeah, even in asking for help now, all those thoughts still go through my mind. But then it makes it like, who else am I asking for help? Because obviously there's mommy and mama, but like, who else can I trust? And since this whole trauma, a lot of people had said to me personally, if you need help, just call me. If you need help, just call me. And they've said, bruh, the amount of people say that to me, and I can only find one person. I can only find two people who say, if you need help, just when everything just pop off. And but one person in particular who has been so constant, and that's Kavan Allen. And I have to call out him full name. Both him and Keisha own House of Clay, and he has been, oh my goodness, like Kavan's level of Christianity is unmatched. The way him just a different level of Christian, yeah, man. Like him at the Christian where, yeah, me guy at church, dog. Like him at that Christian day. I look so high, but I'm really, really exhausted. But yeah, so Kavan at the type was say, yeah, me guy at church, because I'm not gonna buy the church, but Kavan church, any day that up no, man. I'm gone, I'm fly like BG kite. But yeah, I no longer hold true to this. If you want help, just ask. And ask people you trust. I trust my mommy, I trust my grandma. Is it me? I have about 5 people who I can legit ask for help. Not that I'm going to get it. That's not the reason I'm asking. I'm asking because I trust you with this my level of vulnerability of me not having and me asking you. That's why I ask. Not because I have it, but because I trust it with me there.
They're deep when adult situations arise, yeah? How are you protecting them?
Okay, so
So where this is concerned, now where the boys are concerned, which is boy, because Jalil understands, but I don't go into in-depth conversation with Jalil where this is concerned. Both the children are also going through a separation. They're also going through a divorce. I do not want you to negate your child's feelings because it's an adult situation. Train up a child in the way he should go or grow or glow or go whatever, and he's old, he will not depart from it, right? Fine. That was a primary school joke because he's now learning glow foods, grow foods, and go foods. So anyway, that's not the point. Point is, I have to word this properly so you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm not gonna just blurt it out. Yeah, I'm telling him everything. No, this is Jonathan, yes, everything. What happened, how it happened, who it happened with, everything. So now let me go back to the diplomatic side of me. Jonathan is asking questions that I've always said that should be answered by his dad. And they were going unanswered because he kept on asking. They kept on coming up. And I was like, you should talk to your daddy. You should talk to your daddy. You should talk to your daddy. And that conversation wasn't happening. What was happening, there were other conversations that I would deem pointless conversations. Conversations like, don't put no style in my ear because I'm have school. I'm like, nigga, ain't nobody gives a shit about style in their hair. These people are in boxers and a school shirt. What you mean? Yeah, no, style again I'm it. So no, I'm a dopes because I'm the one that cuts the children's hair. I wanting to get that straight. Anytime I pick them on go barber, I make them go barber. Since the separation, he's only done it once. Me can them go barber. My pin them ear. I was torn up. What you say? Clean. So I had the heart. You still kind of see it. And Jonathan said, "Mommy, I want a heart." I'm like, done. Whatever you want, it's done. And it's meaningless. It's pointless. It's gonna grow out. It's going to grow out. So the first time I'm having I'm ed. In fact, it's enough for everything I'm ed because school, of course, I never listen. I'm gonna tell Kavan because I don't speak to him directly. I speak to him through Kavan. So I'm gonna tell Kavan, said, it's like a stay in M8 because it's online school. They're not examining them as they would a traditional school system. This is so untraditional. First of all, don't get me started on online school because they want to maintain their illusion of school when it is far gone. I'm the one that's teaching my child. While I have while I have Jalil, while Jalil I ride me like a jockey, while Jalil want to bed, while Jalil want to eat, while Jalil want to sleep, while Jalil want to do what Jonathan do, while Jalil want to play, while Jalil want to do every single thing, I have to be the one in class with Jonathan. Me. I have to be teaching him because when his teacher has done explaining, I have to take over and speak to him in a way that he understands. There's a certain way that you teach certain age groups, and there's also a certain way that you teach everybody individually, irrespective of age. You have different methods of teaching, different personalities that you have to teach to, all of which I've been trained for. I do not like school. I've said this so many times. It's a distraction. It is pointless. It is dumb. Fine. It has to be done because that's what we were taught. Everything that must be done, has to be done, is what we were taught. And we grew into those experiences thinking that they're the final. It has to be done. Why things cost money and money ringing out to the world when money is made? Why they can't just make more? Of course, somebody going to say something to validate. But that just furthers my point. This is what you've been taught. So if putting a style in a man pick the head, I'm going to make him calm. If putting a style in a man pick the head, I'm going to make him feel happy and say, "Mommy, I love this," because he keeps saying it. "Mommy, I love my heart. I wake up and I see my heart and I love my heart." If that's what it takes, and my child is still cognitive in school, my child is still taking part in school actively, if that's what it takes, but him have on him yard chart and him school shirt, if that's what it takes, it's going to be done. I'm not going to take that from him because it is meaningless. We try, and this is his issue, we try to uphold this illusion of standard of being the exemplary human being or the exemplary father in his case, and you're failing miserably in every other direction. So why not focus on what needs to be focused on? Why haircut? A flipping haircut, bro? Yo, dog. As I said, Jonathan know every flipping thing because it had gotten to the point where he wasn't saying anything, and I'm like, "Kavan, if him not talk, me I go talk, and I know you want me to talk because I'm gonna say every single thing." And that's my issue. Everything else is getting your attention except the root of the matter. You have yet to sit your child down and tell him. I not understand it. You're big enough to do it, dog. You're big enough to do everything you want for the because you're a man and you're the leader of the home. But to have a simple conversation with your child, telling him why his mother does not want to come home, but you continue to demonize me? Boy, to end right there because, like, excuse me, like, life is still happening after. You see me? Like, after everything is done. I'm so sleepy. After everything is done, like, life is still happening. So, like, to go further and further into the interview, I don't want to go to a place where I don't want to go to. But the interview was phenomenal. The vibe exchange, the energy matching, it was just out of this world. It is hands down one of the best interviews I have ever done. One of the best I've ever done. So go ahead, I'll leave the link to the full interview in the description box for you guys to watch. And yeah, share your thoughts. And I sing at the end too. Alrick draw me out. But yeah, share your thoughts. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I have tutorials I have to get edited. Hold on. Let me show you guys what I have to be doing. Look it. So this is what I'm editing now. Then I have this tutorial. Then I have this tutorial. Then I have this tutorial. Then this tutorial. I don't know where this is. I really hope I didn't delete the footage as I'm screwed. And I have this old tutorial, which I'm going to have to revamp and to like figure out. But yeah, so bye.